Hey guys, how's it going? It's Atsu. So today I want to quickly talk about the right pronunciation of why do you, why did you, why don't you? And the reason being, the other day I got a message from one of my friends who's working hard on his pronunciation, and he sent me his recording, which included the phrase, why do you, in a sentence. It was like, why do you do that, or something like that, and he wanted to get some feedback from me. And I'm not really a native speaker at all, right? So I'm not really in a position to give feedback on somebody's pronunciation, obviously, but I wanted to give some advice based upon my experience and stuff. And I had a listen to it, and there was something off about it. There was something off the radar, especially around why do you of the sentence. And I wanted to figure out like what was really wrong with it, and I had a thought about it, and now I finally worked out what was wrong with its pronunciation. So today I wanted to make a video about it because I thought some of you guys watching this video might be struggling with the same issue. So I'm gonna do a bit of a deep dive into my thought process so that I can share my tips on how to pronounce why do you, why did you, why don't you smoothly. Alright, so let's dig into it. So basically the way he was pronouncing why do you was a bit more like why do you, why did you, why don't you? And ignore the intonation, right? What do you think is wrong with it? Why do you? Well, obviously, maybe you can tell from my gesture, but the D sounded a little bit too strong. Like, why do you? And like, it felt like there was just too much going on. Like, I got really distracted when I was listening to it because like, do was just like conspicuously strong. And I was like, why did he really pronounce it like that? Because I'd never actually had that kind of issue. And I had a thought about it, and now I figured out why he was pronouncing more like why do you? Like it had a bit of a plosive nature or flavor around it. Well, basically, if you think about it, right, when you pronounce do standalone, of course you're going to pronounce it more like do, right? Do you like it? Or let's do it, right? There's a bit more rare coming out of your mouth because it's do. Well, you consider it to be like one standalone word in and of itself, right? But in a phrase like why do you, right? It's kind of like considered to be just one component of a set phrase. Why do you? Why did you? So it's a little bit more softer because it's just one tiny component which doesn't have stress. It's just, makes up one syllable of the set phrase, right? Why do you? So it's got 3 syllables. And it's the middle syllable which doesn't have stress because it's the first syllable which has stress, right? So why do you, why do you, why do you, why do you? It's softer, right? And the reason being, it's just one component. So when you think of the word daddy, right? Daddy, the D at the beginning of the word is different from the D in the middle of the word because, the first D or da, the first syllable has stress and the second syllable doesn't have stress, and the nature of D changes or the flavor of D changes depending upon whether the syllable that includes the D has stress or no in the word, right? So why do you, for example, the do part doesn't have any stress, daddy, same thing, D part, the second D doesn't have any stress, daddy, so it's more of a flap D, right? Daddy. So just flapping the tip of your tongue against your gum region, that's more than enough. Whereas daddy, like you've got to stop the air a little bit and then explode it to make the true D sound. And the same thing is happening in a phrase like, why do you, why did you, why did you? No, I said the same thing again. Why do you, why did you, why don't you, right? So if any of you guys are struggling to pronounce this like why do you, why did you, or these phrases because like there was just too much stoppage of air happening in your mouth, I think what you should do is to make sure you flap the tip of your tongue. So this is the piece of advice I gave to my friend and I wanted to give you today as well because I thought it was going to be really valuable in the learning process of pronunciation. I'm not really a native speaker. Again, I really want to emphasize this because there might be some inaccurate observations around pronunciation, but I've studied phonetics by myself and I think I've got like some level of like solid knowledge around pronunciation. So I think my understanding around this is correct. And some native speakers might say, why do you, like explode it a little bit, depending upon the situation, but it's more likely that they pronounce it more like why do you, like a little bit more softer. And I think what you should be doing when practicing these phrases is like flapping the D, because that makes it sound more, I think, natural, and it's a lot easier to say as well. Alright, so that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you learned something out of this video, and I want to tell you that, pronunciation is one of the most critical elements of learning English, I guess, because, without understanding basics, you can't really improve your listening comprehension skills, or you can't make yourself understood in communication. If your pronunciation is wrong, people won't understand you. So it's really important to, cover the basics at least, and that's why I made my own course, and I'm still working on my pronunciation, my Australian pronunciation, and hopefully I'm sounding a little bit more Australian now. Anyway, alright, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!